to tell you a story about our beautiful country, Botswana. Hello, I'm Rifilwe.
And I'm Maria.
This is Africa. We live in Southern Africa. Our country is the size of France, but we are only about 1.7 million people. So there's a lot of space and nature.
For us, it's a wonderful place to live, but nearly nobody knows about Botswana. 40 years ago, in 1966, Botswana gained her independence. There was nothing here in 1966. Okay, maybe about 500,000 people. There was some cattle and lots of nature. The central part of the country is Kalahari Desert, grass and bush with dunes, pans and ancient lakes. Very impressive if you like that sort of untouched nature.
Botswana are cattle people. They love their cattle. Cattle are a big source of their income. Gaborone, our capital city, did not exist. People lived in huts in villages. Many men worked, and even now work at their cattle posts. But a lot has changed since those days.
Hey, Hoberman, hey, Dapperton, you've both got your style, but brother, you're never fully dressed without a smile.
After 40 years of independence, the stage of Botswana's development is set for drama. A showpiece to be performed as one of the major independence celebrations is Annie, the musical.
My role in Annie was as the director, and there was a number of reasons why we chose this show. I think primarily when we were thinking about doing a show for the 40th anniversary celebrations of independence for Botswana, it was important to find a show that would have appeal to a wide range of people. We didn't want just an adult theatre show or something that would just be for children. So we were looking for something that would have mass appeal and also something that would have some sort of social relevance to Botswana.
Together at last.
People in Botswana respect differences in culture and religion. We play with children from all over the world.
I don't need sunshine or to turn my skies to blue. I don't need anything but you.
The play also is a story about hope and optimism, and this is what is needed today in Botswana when we look at our own social challenges. We have close to 3.5% of our population which is orphaned as a result of a number of different things, but especially because of the HIV/AIDS epidemic that we've faced in the country. And we're having to make sure that we are not too depressed by that social issue, but that we use our hope and our optimism and our positiveness to overcome that and say, well, how are we going to handle that challenge as we go into the future? People are very willing to buy into a vision and a dream, and that's what this cast did. This cast was very motivated to give it their best because we said we will accept nothing less than your best. The audience here are going to expect a professional production. None of you are professionals, but you will produce a professional show, and I think people just rise to that challenge.
Used to room in a tomb where I'd sit and freeze. Get me now, holy cow! Would someone pitch me, please?
We are the Annies. It was decided to have 2 Annies because the play is taking place every night for 8 weeks.
And on Saturdays, twice.
Botswana has always been a tolerant nation, which has shown when her first president, Sir Seretse Khama, married a white British lady. Ruth Khama became the first lady and mother of the nation at a time when Botswana was surrounded by countries opposed to racial integration. For Ruth and Seretse, it was a hard-knock life.
The kids were probably my best experience. Firstly, because I've never worked with kids before, and I don't think I even relished the idea of it. In fact, the first few weeks were so difficult because I didn't know how to talk to kids. I kept saying things like to them, guys, I want you to sense, I want you to intuit, I want you to feel. Kids would be like 6, 7 years of age and look at me and going, intuit? Sense? I mean, what is he talking about?
Empty belly life, non-funny life, full of sorrow life, no tomorrow life. Santa Claus we never see. Santa Claus, what's that? Who's he? No one cares for you. A snitch when you're in an orphanage. It's a hard knock life.
What was the big surprise only 1 year after Botswana's independence?
I have an idea, and I would look underground.
At independence, Botswana's budget was very small. There was hardly any source of income. Taxes were low and the population was low. So we depended on hands-out from Britain. But then we discovered minerals and that changed the whole economic climate. Diamonds in particular have helped to shape the future of Botswana.
Botswana discovered diamonds shortly after independence. The country achieved a record production of 34.3 million carats in 2006. It is the world's leading diamond producer in terms of quality and grade of its diamonds. In countries with stable governments, such as Botswana, diamonds add a lot to the economy.
We negotiated an agreement with DBS, which was very good for us at the time. This money, it was decided very early that mineral resources belonged to the whole nation and not to any particular community or tribe where they were discovered.
What makes Botswana an African success story? It's not only the discovery of its diamonds. There is a much bigger story behind it.
Yeah, much bigger.
Botswana has managed to provide us with sound infrastructure, a stable economy, education, free healthcare, and a future for her citizens. Like in Annie, Botswana has gone from rags to riches, expanding from being rural with village life to a thriving modern country and a capital city with nearly 200,000 inhabitants.
The big secret is that traditionally, the people loved justice and freedom of speech, the roots of our age-old Khotla system. As a result, Botswana has established a multi-party democracy since independence, which origins can be found in tradition and culture, and a strict separation between the government and the judiciary system.
There is a commonly held perception, especially in the West, that democracy originates from the West, or that it is a concept that is foreign to African communities and African countries or African traditions for that matter. In the case of Botswana, that is not the case at all. We have our Khotla system. Our system, our traditional system of governance was based on a process of consultation between those who ruled, the chiefs, and those who were ruled, the people.
Khotla is a place of consultation. That is where people meet to discuss about the issues that concern the village. Issues regarding development and issues regarding generally the way that they live together as a community in the village. It's a place of gathering, really. We also explain our customary laws and rights to those who come to the village. I do believe that the Khotla is certainly not something for the past. It is still playing a vital role within the society of Botswana. And I do believe that it still has a place in the future. I don't see anybody really coming up with something different that would serve the community as it does in the near future.
I think the traditional Botswana consultation Khotla system provided a very good breeding ground, that was conducive to the introduction of a modern democratic dispensation that we have today. In many ways, you could say the customary law operates in the daily lives, as part of the daily lives of the people of Botswana, mostly who live in the rural areas. But of course, we have our magistrates' courts, we have the High Court. In many senses, it operates as a single hierarchy because you can move from the lowest customary court right up to the Court of Appeal. So there's many ways in which you could say we have a dual system of customary law on the one hand and common law or modern law on the other. But in many respects, it's a single hierarchy because you can pursue your rights right up to the highest court.
And here is the heart of Botswana's modern democracy, the parliament, complete with a ruling party and an opposition, consisting of different parties.
Annie had a few obstacles to overcome, just like Botswana.
Not having a theatre that's developed in the country with lighting and sound is a major obstacle. With this theatre, for example, we inherited a school, not a hall as such, but it is a school theatre with a concrete floor. With no backstage area, no changing rooms, no wings. I mean, absolutely nothing. So everything has to be done from scratch.
It was a very base concrete floor, basically. We built the entire wood floor, a revolve on it, all the decor, moving things, which is also very much a quiet first for Botswana, I believe.
In this production, we bought in the porter cabins, which we turned into changing rooms. We prayed that it would not rain, which we never do in Botswana because we're drought-stricken and we need rain the whole time. But we prayed that it would not rain because that would have been a complete disaster.
One of Botswana's problems is a large and growing number of orphans. The number one reason being the deaths of their parents by the HIV/AIDS pandemic, which hits our country very hard.
Ke ne ke le go dula sentle mo nakong e telele mme ka tlhaloganya gore kwano go na le bana ba ka nna 9 ba di orphan. So since dula sentle tswalwa e be re tsaya re le magoshaba le nna le ba bangwe gore ga gona ya ka re le ga dula sentle tswe ra ba latlhella hela re ne re tla re ba thusa mo lapeng mo ka go raitso ra gona o motona o ka ba sireletsang go tshwana le bana ba mo lapeng re be re tsa mogopolo gore re ne re tla go ba tlhatswetsa re ba cleanela mo ntlung rapa re tlhola le bone tota e le go ba fa lorato go ba bontsha gore le bone ba tshwana le bana hela jaaka bana bangwe le bangwe.
There'll be sun. Just thinking about tomorrow clears away the cobwebs and the sorrow. Till this night.
The two Annies, oh wow, they were just out of this world. I'm still convinced that I only had the two Annies. I don't think there was anyone else that I auditioned that could have done that role except for those two girls. But my goodness, they were just absolutely fantastic and confident and serious and hardworking.
Pipe down, all of ya. Go back to sleep.
Okay, full of authority. Pipe down, you're the leader. Okay, so really strong with that, yeah? Go for it, pipe down.
Pipe down, all of ya. Go back to sleep.
I don't know where 11-year-olds get that maturity from, but they just arrived with it and with supportive parents and just all worked.
We're here in Ote to share Botswana's reality. And right here in this house that we're at, there are 9 kids whose parents passed away and they're being looked after by their grandfather. And right now we're just about to learn how to make magunya, which is fat cakes. How come your pieces are like that? Mine's all funny.
How do you know that the fat cakes are ready?
You can just see with the color. And when you remove the fat cakes with the fork, we use the fork so we can see if in the middle it's cooked. Yeah. If it's not cooked, you'll find some sticky stuff in the fork. Then you'll know that the fat cakes are not yet ready.
I think that everybody deserves somebody to love them and to take care of them, and I feel quite sorry for them. 2, 3. Tomorrow, tomorrow, I love you. Tomorrow, you're always a day away. Sometimes orphans find love and success in Botswana.
This is a printing company. I'm working as an assistant production manager. I went to primary school to start Standard 1 in 1994. That's when my mom was still alive. I was very, very happy when she was alive. She used to spoil me very much. When I was doing Standard 4, my mom, she was very sick, but she said she had the problem of the hands paining and the feet paining. That was it. And when I was doing Standard 5, she died. But I started feeling very lonely. I thought maybe that's the end of my life without my mom. There's this lady I met in 2005. Her name is Chitra. She's an Indian. Actually, she started as my sponsor. And then I started thinking that maybe this lady, maybe God sent her as an angel to me. And right now, I'm working with her. I called her mom.
Botswana has realized at an early stage that HIV/AIDS is its biggest enemy and organized an effective battle plan. Right now, it is the first country in the world that provides its people with free antiretroviral treatment.
At independence, there were very few hospitals. In fact, there were probably 4. So it wasn't until after independence that the government decided that basic health care should be available to everybody. It is because of the infrastructure that was put by the government at that time that we have now been able to roll out HIV/AIDS care to the average population. Botswana Harvard AIDS Institute partnership is a very strong partnership that started a long time ago in the late 1990s. The main area is research, and it is really research that makes sure that whatever we do in practice is based on evidence.
An estimated 258,000 people are living with HIV/AIDS. We call it a national emergency. The epidemic threatens our whole survival. Fortunately, we have some friends that help us with funding and expertise. One example is the Botswana Harvard School of Public Health. This partnership is really about HIV research and education. Blood from clinics in Gaborone and other places in Botswana is collected and brought here for research.
The Botswana Harvard HIV Reference Laboratory has grown into a lab with the highest capacity in the world. 79,500 patients have been enrolled. You can see why labeling of the blood samples is so important. There are also studies to understand how we can prevent HIV transmission. They do experiments with medicines to find the best way for HIV-positive mothers to breastfeed their babies. That way, the babies don't get automatically infected. 91% of the young mothers have enrolled in this program.
They even do clever research into the molecular structure of the virus. All the results are translated into ways to fight the virus.
I am very optimistic about the future because it only, in our work, it only confirms that community mobilization is the answer. We have to be with the community in everything that we do. Through community mobilization and working with people living with HIV, a lot of Botswana have been educated on AIDS awareness, just the knowledge that HIV is there, and let's develop no stigma about it, but also in getting to know what all the complexities surrounding HIV and AIDS. And I will say I'm very optimistic because right now the trends are showing that the prevalence among the young is going down. In the overall population, prevalence has actually gone down from 36% all the way down to 24%. But as people always say, we cannot sit on our laurels. We need to get that message across, to teach more and more, to teach children at school, to ensure that that trend is maintained. And one day we can have an HIV-free generation, or a generation where HIV is free, is there, but people know how to take care of themselves. There is no stigma, there is no discrimination, and we are all a united and proud nation.
I think that Botswana, of course, in the bigger scheme of things in the world, is not a terribly well-known or important country. And whenever I travel and I say I'm from Botswana, a lot of people really don't know what the hell Botswana is and why I think Botswana is so important. But I must say that I think it's wonderful to be a Botswana, to live now in this in the 21st century in Botswana. I believe that we've done well as a country. We have a fantastic resource that is the people of this country. And I think that there's so much talent among our young people in Botswana, which we need to tap. And I think that while the government is trying its best to support the arts and so on, that we need to put a little bit more energy, not only money, more energy and thought and creativity into how we can bring out that talent in our young people and make them even more creative. And most importantly, of course, make it possible for them to make a living out of the arts and just be happy, because I think it's also very important to be a happy nation and a happy person.
We have been very fortunate in developing so fast and in the right direction. The people did a lot for themselves. I wish we could continue the self-help, which seems to be dying because people keep thinking the government must do everything for them, instead of they are doing things for themselves and asking government to help them.
I'm very optimistic about the future. The youth will be the dynamic population of the future, just like the orphans are the people who will be leading this country and making it a more prosperous society.
Botswana's development in the past 40 years has been amazing.
We can't wait for tomorrow.
Just thinking